Predominantly, it's always emotional, physical, verbal, and sexual abuse. Lately, we've seen an increase in mental health. Mental health is very difficult because often parents don't know how to recognize the signs, they don't identify with it, they don't know how to deal with it, so the kids become problematic.
When I was living with my stepdad, me and him didn't get along a lot. He was drinking a lot, which wasn't healthy. I was stubborn. We used to fight a lot, and then I decided to go live with my friend. His mom suggested a shelter, and then I started my journey there.
Growing up, I experienced a few traumatic events. I was dealing with a mental illness that wasn't diagnosed for a while. My mental health got to the point where I wasn't able to keep a job and wasn't able to care for myself, and I ended up in a shelter.
In the winter, if you're looking for a shelter to stay at, it's recommended you look quick, because if you're on the streets for the night, it's going to be rough.
Some things that I would do to stay warm would be dressing in as many layers as possible. A lot of people will try to take shelter in the doorways of stores because it blocks some of the wind. A lot of people will also spend time at McDonald's during the night because it's one of the few things that is open 24 hours.
What I would do is I would sit next to a building that had a heater and just sit there till the night went by. Try to find a safe area that's not seen by a lot of people, so that you can sleep in peace and not have your brain telling you might get robbed in the middle of the night or something.
The question for me is, what kind of society allows human beings to die out in the cold? Is it a just and compassionate society that we live in?
I think the first thing people think about is shelters. Sometimes you're not able to get a bed in a shelter if it's overfilled, and sometimes it's not safe to stay in a shelter.
I've been robbed in shelters, so if you don't lock up your stuff, someone's gonna take it.
In a shelter, you aren't able to sleep properly, you aren't able to eat properly, you don't have that control over your daily routine, and it's almost impossible to get a job if all that you can think about is survival.
Let's do something about it and not look at band-aid solutions such as increasing costs. Let's look at the cause, at the root cause, and do something at that level.